Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of free-ranging chickens. I'm Danielle of the Split Arrow Farm and welcome to our channel. As you know from a lot of our videos, or if this is your first time watching, welcome. We love our backyard chickens and we do free-range our chickens. We have 2 Australian Shepherds that keep them in a pretty tight line and make sure that they do not go outside of the bounds of our property. But there are so many great things that we love about free ranging that I'm going to go over today. So let's get started. Let's start off with the positives. So first, you're going to find that by free ranging, your chickens are going to be getting a diverse and healthy diet. This is because not only are they maybe receiving the items that you're giving them, but they're also able to forage for their own food, getting bugs, grass clippings, different types of things within the grass or lawn that you have, and this is going to be a really great way to make a more diverse and happy chicken, because you're going to find that they are really happy when they're out. Every morning they're always kind of chirping to get out, and they're so excited to get out in the field once we do let them out. Another pro is going to be that by foraging, you're going to find that you're really cutting down on the cost of food and feed. So we still have feed that we're giving our chickens, but it's been significantly cut down by them actually foraging and finding their own food outside of there. And that has been great, because I'm sure when you guys are starting your own homestead or small farm, having the money to feed your chickens is going to play a big role in whether you can get more chickens or not. So this is something that's really going to help cut down on the cost. You're also going to find that you won't have to get any type of grit for the chicken. So chickens do not actually have teeth, which means that you will want to give them grit if they're not being free ranged. And this is basically so they can get small rocks within their system to help digest the food. Now, if a chicken is free ranging, they're going to be able to get that grit on their own, and therefore you will not have to pay to get that grit for them, which is more money in your pocket that you can be using somewhere else to either create a better house for them or add on to your homestead or small farm. We've also found that with this diverse and healthy diet that these chickens are getting by free ranging, it's actually going to produce a richer egg. So this is going to be number 3 for a pro here. And if you actually compare a free ranged chicken to just a chicken that is maybe in a smaller run, you're going to find that the yolks are a lot richer in an orange color, and you're going to even notice compared to just a grocery store chicken that they are just a richer color. But these really happy chickens and their diverse and healthy diet is going to be leading to a much more nutrient-rich yolk. They're surrounding my feet right now. They love it. And again, number 4 here, you're going to have really healthy, happy birds. Number 4 here, you are going to have really healthy, happy birds. So by giving them the capability to actually wander around, they're going to be a much leaner, active bird. We know that as humans, the more activity and fitness that you incorporate in your lifestyle, the longer you will live and the healthier you will be. And it is no different for any other animal at your homestead or farm. So really giving them that space to roam and walk around and stay active is going to make them a much more fit, healthier, and active bird. And my last pro here, and probably my low-key favorite, is by foraging outside, it means that they're not going to be in the coop as much, which means that 1, they're not going to be in that crowded space, so there's going to be less disease because they're not in it together as much in a confined space. And if you do kind of see that maybe one chicken is a little sicker, then you can kind of separate that chicken. And also, it's going to reduce the amount of cleaning that you need to do to your coop, which is probably my favorite aspect here, because I hate to clean things. But it really is going to reduce the amount of cleaning, because most of their day will be spent out and about kind of doing their own thing, so they won't be having as many droppings within the coop. You'll still want to make sure that you do have a clean coop and you are making it safe for them, but this is going to reduce a lot of that cleaning that you need to do, and maybe instead of doing it as often, you can cut back, which is always a good thing because it's giving you some extra time in your day. So those are lists of some of the pros. Now let's talk about some of the cons. So if you have been on any Facebook groups or experienced free ranging your chickens, you're going to know that predators are a huge item of why a lot of people choose actually to not let their chickens free range. So you have predators from the sky and from the ground that can be coming after your chickens. Think foxes, wolves, hawks, anything of the likes can really come and get them. And by having them free ranging, you do have them at a bigger risk for having a predator come after them. Now, there are things that you can do to help reduce this risk. Something that we do is we do allow our 2 Australian Shepherds out for most of the day, which makes it so they're kind of protected by them. And then we also make sure that we do provide a safe place for the chickens at night. So I'd say around 8 in the morning in the summer, we're letting them out, and around 6 or 7 at night, we'll usually let them in so they have some time before it starts to get dark and they're a lot safer within it. Another con can be you can have a wandering chicken. So our chickens are all over our acreage right now, and they really are wandering. We have golden comets that for the most part like to stay around humans or other creatures, which one is right by my foot right now. But beyond that, you do have kind of wandering birds. So the fear of maybe losing a bird from having it wander into a neighbor's yard or across the streets is definitely a concern that you'll want to think of. And by maybe having a dog that's herding them in or having a fenced in area, this can really help that. Now, another con can be the egg hunt. So currently all of our chickens are laying their eggs inside of our coop, but you never know that a chicken could start laying it somewhere else. They could find a space that they think is safer than the coop that they're going to every single day, and they might start leaving their eggs there, which means that you're gonna have to start hunting for those eggs, and it means that you could be losing some of the eggs that your coop is providing for you. So that's another con to think about as you start to think about whether you would want to free range or not for your chickens. I hope that you guys are enjoying this video. If you are, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already a part of the community, as we do share new content every Wednesday and Sunday, and we'd love to have you along for the journey. But let's get back to the last 3 cons on the list. So the next one is with chickens wandering around the property, they might get into areas that you don't necessarily want them in. One of which is the garden. I know that so many people have had their chickens break into their garden, and right when you're getting ready for that scrumptious tomato or pepper or eggplant that you've been watching grow for weeks, you realize that your chicken has just eaten it, and that really puts a damper on everyone's day. So that's a really big con in my book. Unless you have a garden that is really well fenced around, this is something that, if it hasn't happened to you, is definitely probably going to, unfortunately. Another item of unwanted behaviors is going to be that with chickens wandering everywhere, especially our golden comets that really love hanging out with us, it means that they're going to be pooping everywhere. So we found that they're in our garden bed, in our porch, in our patio, and there isn't really any way to get around that. So you will have a cleaner coop, but you will have a much dirtier yard, and that also brings in a lot of flies as well, which isn't really the best. The last con here is that you are going to need a lot of space. So if you do live in a more urban setting, you're going to find that it's a lot harder to free range your chickens. One of my colleagues actually I was talking to, and she free ranges in South Carolina, and they have areas that are really close to each other, and she said that her chickens are all over the neighbors' properties. Now, she has a really great relationship with her neighbors and they don't really mind, but I know that not all neighbors are like that. So if you do have a smaller space, then it honestly might just not be something that you can do at this time until you are able to upgrade your homestead or farm. Here at Split Arrow Farm, we love free ranging our chickens, and I'd love to hear down in the comments below if you guys free range or not, and some of the pros and cons that you've run into throughout your process. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys again next time. Bye!